Hello, friends. I welcome you to another What to Do Next series. In our session today, I would like to share with you a query that came to me by one of my clients who I was coaching 3 years ago. Mine was working in a very senior role, and he was in somewhere in the Middle East. While he was quite happy with his job, but one thing really bothered him, which was his inability to say a no. He felt he was not quite assertive and also very submissive. People consider him to be quite polite, but he was not really happy with the way he was. And his main ask was to help him establish those healthy boundaries. So when I and he we were working together, I said, your issue is you need help in regards to establishing healthy boundaries. But the first thing I asked him to do was to first understand, take a step back, where when he constantly repeated and said that he was very submissive and he lacked assertiveness, he can't say no to people and people take undue advantage of that. How does he change this particular part of him? On which I said, you really need to go back to those young years of yours where you learned what really was being obedient or submissive. Because, friends, the meanings we attach to certain concepts are deeply wired inside our minds from our young years, our growing years. And for him, when we went back to his teenage years, there were many instances, while I'm not going to share or divulge a lot of details around this part, but these incidents in his very young years, almost when he was a teenager, when he looked and reviewed them and understood what really was that made him so lacking assertiveness. Like, it is not being timid, but also cannot really say a no or establish boundaries. And sometimes it is also deeply connected to our self worth. We feel we need connection, we need to feel belong. And if we say a yes to everything, people will like us, they will accept us. We won't be rejected. And this way, we'll always be with those we love or with those we really admire. And we will be people's favorite. But the reality is, people behave with us most of the time when it is about workspace. It is all about being formal because we are at a workspace only achieving our organizational goals together as employees at different levels in the hierarchy. Nobody has any personal business there. So therefore, establishing boundaries is all the way more key and important, specific at workspace. And when you don't do so, you may not only jeopardize your career, it's not just about being non assertive, but it's also about your own leadership skills, where the people underneath you can easily, if they misuse you, seeing this weak spot of yours, which then can hamper your career growth. So, to this particular client of mine, and if you are just like this person, not very submissive, one of the things that you could do is think of the time in your life when you were taught what was the real meaning of being submissive or being obedient. The moment you find this meaning in your life, we all have meanings assigned to certain concepts. Your meaning will give you all the answers to why you're not really able to say a no or establish healthy boundaries, why it is difficult for you to be assertive. So try this, and as you learn about, find your own answers, the insights, with that clarity and newfound awareness, deal with the world, specifically at the workspace, with tact and diplomacy, and not with any personal need to appease anyone. Thank you.